What's up? Yeah, welcome back to the house, man. Thank y'all for coming back and chopping it up with me, man. Hey, if you didn't know, I am that boy Box. This is Roughhouse Boxing TV. And gotta send a big shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community. And all those brothers and sisters all over the world putting out good content about boxing, other sports, politics, culture, recent events, current events, things of that nature. You know, the LDBC, we in this thing, to quote my man Black Fight Fan. But yeah, just wanted to come and give a breakdown and prediction about the Canelo Triple G fight tonight, and hopefully it'll be fresh on your mind when the fight starts, and have a few things to watch for, and we'll see whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. But yeah, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, share this to your social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? Hey, tell somebody else about the house and what's going down over here, man. That's what's up. And hopefully they'll turn into a repeat visitor. That's what it is. But we're gonna get into it now. As always, I got my notes. You know, that's how I do. Y'all know me. We're gonna get into the good, the bad, the ugly. And we will start with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo comes in with a record of 49-1-2. That one loss was to Floyd Mayweather Jr., and one of those two draws was to Triple G in their first fight. Canelo stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, kind of short dude, you know, and he has a 70.5-inch reach. Triple G comes in with a record of 38-0-1. And the one draw we know, like we said before, was from Canelo when they fought previously. Triple G stands 5 feet 10.5 inches tall and has a 70-inch reach. All right, so let's go into the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll start with Canelo. Some of the good for Canelo: he has nice footwork, and we saw this in the first fight. And, let me do this before I get deep into it. Let me say this. Normally when I do my breakdowns and I do my research and I'm going through footage, I like to look at a fighter's last 3 fights, because I feel like that's a good way to get a sense of what and who the fighter is at that particular time. But what I did differently was I only reviewed the first fight that these two fighters had. That's all I used to assess and put together a breakdown and prediction video. You know, everything's based off the first fight, and we'll see what changes get made, if any changes are made at all. But yeah, let's get back into it. Let's see. Canelo, like we said, nice footwork. He's able to maneuver and navigate the entire ring nimbly, and he uses his footwork as a means of avoiding oncoming offense. He was able to slip and dodge a nice number of punches from Triple G during the first fight, and he was able to spin out of danger of a lot of punches and potential damage that he could have taken. You know, he was able to avoid that with his footwork. So that's that. Canelo's a good body puncher. We know that any opening that is exposed, 9 times out of 10, he's going to take advantage of that to the body. He wants to chop down that tree. Triple G was the aggressor in the fight, and Canelo went to his body pretty consistently to try to get him to slow down that aggressive attack. Canelo's a nice combo puncher. He does send single shots out there, but a lot of times he sends a group of punches, body head attack, or a combination head attack, combination body attack. But he's pretty good about combination punching. He does really nicely. He's got good punch placement, and he's fairly accurate. He's pretty accurate with his shots. Hard puncher, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Has multiple tools in his toolkit. Of these two fighters, I would say Canelo is the more skilled boxer, the more technically sound boxer. He is the more athletic of the two. And overall, it seems that Canelo he's able to do more things in the ring than Triple G is. And I think a lot of that came from when he fought Floyd Mayweather. And the obstacles, the challenges, the tactics that Floyd imposed or employed against him, I think he took a lot of those, he incorporated them into his own toolkit and incorporated it into his game. And it's crazy because I've seen Canelo in the Philly shell. You know what I'm saying? Hey, ain't no Philly shell going on in Mexico, man. He got that from Floyd. But that's just one of the things that I noticed. Let's see. I can't read my own handwriting. That's bad. Fights decently off the back foot. Like we said, in the first fight, Triple G was the aggressor, and he pressed the action most of the time. But Canelo was still able to do solid work, while in a backwards, retreat motion, so to speak. He was still able to get punches off. He was still able to score points while moving backwards, which, believe it or not, that's something that a lot of fighters don't have in their toolkit. They're either going forward on offense or they're going backwards on defense. And Canelo, he transitions pretty decently from offense to defense and vice versa. Let me see. Good counterpuncher. That's another thing that Canelo is known for. He's known as a counterpuncher. While he does at times initiate the offense, I think he's more comfortable letting his opponent punch, slipping or dodging or parrying or blocking that, and then coming back with his own offense. And in order to have the fighter leave an opening or expose themselves for the counterpunch. Canelo's got a good chin. There were a few times in the first fight where Triple G hit him with something fairly flush, fairly solid. Not a bunch of times, but a couple times. Enough to make me confident enough to say that he's got a good chin. And Canelo dealt with him. He dealt with those punches pretty well. And you can see that some of those punches bothered him. But for the most part, he would get hit and he would shake his head like, nah, that didn't fade me. But we know when they shake their head, it faded them. So, yeah, that's the good. Let's go with the bad now. And I'm going to say this. All of these things that I've got listed in the bad column for Canelo, I guess technically you could list them all under one umbrella. And that is low to medium or low to decent work rate and punch output. Everything seems to fall in the category of the number of punches and how hard he works through a round. So I've got takes periods off. There'll be lulls in action from Canelo that you'll see in practically every round as the fight goes on, where he'll punch for a bit and then he spends 30, 45 seconds, a minute and a half, just dodging and slipping and trying to avoid punches without actually initiating any output of his own. Gets sloppy trying to gain back momentum after taking a hard shot. He's one of those fighters that if you hit him hard, he wants to hit you back hard to let you know that, hey, I'm here. I'm still here. I took your best shot. Now take mine. He kind of reminds me of Terrence Crawford in that regard. If Terrence gets hurt, you best believe he's going to try to stick you with a big shot too. And a lot of that, I think, is kind of embarrassment in the moment because the crowd reacts to it. The crowd goes, ooh. And I think Canelo and fighters like him and Bud Crawford You know, they don't really take kindly to that. So when the crowd goes, ooh, they're kind of like, oh, dang, man. Okay, well, I got to hit him back. And then they do what they have to do to get them a big shot off. But sometimes Canelo gets sloppy trying to get that momentum back, trying to get that big ooh and ah out of the crowd in his favor and on his behalf, you know, and that was something I noticed. He's not a volume puncher. Like we did say he's a good combo puncher, but those are short, quick combos normally. And like I said, you'll see that short 2-punch, 3-punch, maybe even 4-punch combination come off. But then, like I said, it may be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute before another set of punches comes off. So not a volume puncher. And in the game of boxing, along with the opponent, time is your enemy. Especially if you don't have a high output, a high work rate, time is definitely your enemy. Doesn't start rounds at the same rate doesn't finish rounds at the same rates that he starts rounds. I noticed in a lot of the rounds, especially in the second half of that first fight, Canelo would jump out there like dynamite. He would let his hands go for the first, 30 seconds of the round, 40 seconds of the round, and the output was steady decline and drop. And when it got towards the last, 20 seconds of the fight, then he might try to steal around with a flurry, but it was nowhere near as impactful, explosive, dynamic, energetic as the way he starts the round. Now, that's funny that Canelo's got the label of gassing out, and that was one of the things I got right here. I don't think I said known to gas out late in fights. We've seen that over the course of his career, especially in the big highlighted fights on HBO and in the pay-per-views and things of that nature. But even on that good clean blend, that boy still has the tag of gassing out. I thought that was kind of weird and ironic, but that's what he is. All right, now we'll go with Triple G. Triple G has a nice effective jab, which was his primary weapon of choice in that first fight. I'd say probably 70% of the punches that he threw that scored and landed were jabs, but they're nice, stiff jabs. Good body puncher, just like Canelo. He likes to, when he does, let me put it this way, when he does go to the body, he normally goes there effectively. He's a hard puncher, and he's got strength. Triple G is known as a fighter that at any time can drop one of those bombs on you, and he can do damage to a fighter or possibly even get him out of there. Pressure fighter. He's going to apply pressure. He's going to come forward most of the time. Even if he gets stuck with a good shot or a good series of shots, he'll back up for a minute and then he'll come right back forward. And we just saw that last weekend with Shawn Porter. Now, he doesn't have the motor, the tenacity to come forward and the amount of pressure that Shawn Porter has, but it's reminiscent of that. So, changes punch speed and placement. That was another thing that I noticed that I never really paid attention to. Every shot that Triple G throws is not loaded up. He's not swinging for the fences with every shot. And he's not always going to the body like some fighters. Some fighters are strictly body punchers. Some fighters are strictly head punchers. But he's able to change up the placement and the speed of his punches, which in many cases allows a fighter to not be as timeable and not be as hittable. Let's see. He's got a good motor, and we just spoke about that, especially compared to Canelo. He's got a good motor because, like we said, Canelo's got a small gas tank, and he gasses out during fights. And he's got a good chin, which is comparable to Canelo. Canelo hit him with some flush shots that he ate, and he kept coming. So that was the good. We'll go to the bad. Let's see. Very little head movement. His head stays on the center line, which makes you a stationary target for whatever punch to the head, whether it's a jab, whether it's a looping punch or a hook, or whatever the case may be. If you don't move your head and you don't have your hand placement in the right guard position, you getting touched. Slow hand and foot speed. I don't know that Triple G's ever been fleet of foot. I don't think so. Not that I've seen. And he is an older fighter. He's 36 years old, so that is probably a factor in him being as slow as he is. But that was one thing that I noticed, that his a lot of the punches that he missed, if he had quicker hand speed, he would have landed those punches. If he had quicker foot speed, he would have been able to get in better position to throw punches or slip punches. And that's just what it is, man. He's slow. But if one of those slow punches connects, it could be night. Lower body defense is suspect. He seemed very hittable to the body, and Canelo got in some really good work on him to the body, and that's because his slow foot speed. For one, he wasn't able to avoid a lot of those punches, and two, he seemed he seemed dead set on protecting the head, his own head, and he kind of sacrificed his body, in place of that. Too much of a headhunter sometimes. I noticed that while he does have a good body shot and a good body attack, he focuses primarily on the opponent's head, and he wants to hit them on the chin, and he wants to knock them out, with a headshot. And if the fighter has a good chin that a boxer is fighting against, sometimes you need to switch it up and chop that tree down and try to weaken the body and get that fighter to drop his hands to cover up the body, and then that might help you with your head attack. Let's see. Doesn't keep effective range all the time. I noticed that sometimes the boy Canelo, he was either too far away throwing punches or he was too close throwing punches. Either way, he missed shots, or shots would just graze or, hit in the back of the head or things like that when he was too close. But yeah, he needs to do a better job of establishing effective range. Effective range is that range where you can fully extend a punch, even when you're in the phone booth. Sometimes when you're in the phone booth and you're close, you still need to give yourself enough room to where you can land hard, effective shots, and they don't wind up being glancing blows or misses altogether. And the last thing I got for his bad is he is an older fighter. You know what? Rocky Marciano is undefeated. Well, yeah, he's undefeated. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is undefeated. We got a number of fighters who are current fighters who are currently undefeated, in the midst of their career. But there's one opponent that never loses, and that is Father Time. Father Time wins out always. Now, is Triple G, is he at the downside, at the bottom of the mountain now? I don't think so, but I do believe he's on the backside of the mountain going down, and time is not going to help that not going to help that at all. He's not going to automatically just, become spry and youthful again with his fighting style, speed, power, all of that. From here on out, everything goes down. Everything gets slower, and that's just a fact of nature. All right. Well, that was the last of the bad for Triple G. And I also am going to incorporate something new starting today that I think I'm going to keep this going forward. And I am going to put in keys to victory. Things that the fighter needs to do, should do, that would help them out in their pursuit to win this fight. So once again, let's start with Canelo. Keys to victory for Canelo. Needs to establish an effective jab. I didn't see that in the first fight. He relied more on power punches. He outscored Triple G in power punches in the course of the fight because he relied so heavily on that. Must counter effectively. Like I said, he did a pretty decent job of doing that in the first fight. He's gonna have to do that and then some in this rematch. More consistent work rate and output. He cannot allow himself to go through periods of, lulls and inactivity and things like that. No punching like that. He needs to continuously stay busy. He needs to keep punching. He doesn't have to punch, continually like Usyk, but there needs to be less number of gaps. And even when there are those gaps of inactivity, they need to be for smaller durations of time. He needs to continue to have good footwork. He's going to need that. He's going to have to navigate the ring. And he's going to have to be able to do that to avoid punches from Triple G. Stay off the ropes. He spent a very, very good amount of time on the ropes. And when Triple G was able to corner him or cut off the ring, things of that nature, Triple G was able to get some work in on him. But when they were in the center of the ring, or, away from the ropes, I should say, Canelo did a lot of his best work, in that area. So I would say for him to stay off the ropes. Don't put your back against the wall. Leave yourself room to maneuver and move around and make him chase you. Make him chase you. That can't do anything but work to Canelo's advantage and for his good. Like we said, Triple G is older. Triple G is, not the fleetest of foot. Make him use that energy, trying to find you. Okay, and for Triple G, keys to victory, continue using that jab. That jab is going to be nothing but good for him. And second thing I've got is work off the jab effectively. Along with a good, precise, piston-like hard jab, when you can start to work combinations off of that jab, or maybe not so much combinations, but it could even be just good 1-2s off of that jab, which, that's a combination. But, if you can get multiple punches off of the jab that you're using, that can't do anything but help you, Continue to apply pressure. Triple G does his best work when he's the stalker, when he's the aggressor, when he's the one that's pressing the action and pressing the issue. So I would say that would be in his best interest to do that. Because honestly, we've seen how Canelo looks now. He's off the clean blend. And he looks smaller. Now, what is he going to rehydrate up to? We'll see. But at the same time, he's not going to put on any more muscle mass and any more strength when he rehydrates. So, that being said, Triple G needs to apply pressure, and he needs to put hard leather on that boy, to see if the new improved Canelo can withstand the hard blows and the shots that Triple G can put on him. He's got to connect early. In the first fight, it took Triple G probably a round and a half, almost 2 rounds, before he really, was able to put together shots that gained Canelo's respect. Shots that made Canelo say, "Oh, okay, all right, he's here to fight. All right, I got it. Let's go." He spent the first almost 2 rounds trying to find him. Trying to trying to get in range to hit him. And both of those fighters had a healthy respect for each other's power in that first fight. Neither one of them jumped out there and just, just got out there bad, just swinging and trying to take the action to the other one. Even with Triple G applying pressure, it was a slow, calculated, respectful pressure, and he's got to stay busy. That's pretty much self-explanatory. The first fight, he was pretty busy. He had a pretty good punch out rate. He had a good motor. His work rate was consistent. It wasn't all precise. That's another thing. His punch placement, Triple G's punch placement, needs to be more precise. But yeah, that's what I got. And I guess it's time now. Make an official pick. And looking at the first fight, which was the last fight, I could see the fight going either way. I could see Canelo, outboxing him, just circles around Triple G, because Triple G is too slow to catch him in most instances. I could also see Canelo landing a big shot, putting him down, and Triple G landing a big shot and putting Canelo down. It could go either way. But I will say this. Canelo is the younger fighter. Canelo is the fighter that is more in his prime. Canelo is the fighter with more tools in the toolkit, more athletic fighter. That being said, in that first fight, I didn't see Canelo hit Triple G with anything detrimental, anything that was, an ultra deterrent, anything that made Triple G not want to continue to pursue Canelo. And we know Canelo gasses out. We know Canelo gets tired. We know Canelo is going to give away periods of time in the rounds. And to be honest, Canelo could make adjustments to his game. He could. He really could. I don't believe that Triple G is going to make many adjustments at all. But at the same time, I don't really think he needs to. When I watched the first fight, I watched it yesterday, and I went back and, I scored it myself. And I scored it 7-5 Triple G. And that was based off of that sharp jab and that consistent work rate and Triple G applying the pressure. I don't think Canelo's going to get any stronger. As a matter of fact, he looks smaller. Some people will use the term leaner, slimmer. He looks smaller. So, that being said, I don't think he got any stronger or more powerful. Now, could he be quicker? Yes, he could. He very well could be quicker, but I don't believe he's going to be much quicker than what Triple G saw before. So, I'm going to go ahead and say I see Triple G winning by split decision. And I know that's probably not the popular pick, but Canelo gives away too much in a fight. And unless that changes, when they meet in the ring, if Canelo is out there, consistently putting punches on Triple G, I'll know then, ooh, yeah, this isn't like I thought it was going to be. But I don't see Canelo, I don't see the zebra changing its stripes. I don't see the leopard changing its spots. Triple G is who Triple G is. And in my opinion, what he was in that first fight was enough to beat Canelo. So Canelo's not going to get any stronger. Canelo's not going to, I don't think he's going to build up a ton more of endurance, and he's going to get a bigger gas tank. And I think that's going to be to his detriment. So, like I said, I got Triple G by decision. And yeah, that's what it is, man. But But hey, thank y'all for coming by and chopping it up with me, man, spending this time with me. And I know it's probably not a sexy pick. I know it's not a popular pick, man, but just based off what I saw, that's what I saw. And that's the way I see it playing out, man. But and another thing, real quick, it seems like this whole build up to the fight, even though it was like piss poor promotion in my opinion, and not a lot of advertisement and hype around it up until like probably the last week or two of the fight. But Canelo seems to be taking this very personally, you know, almost to the point of, you know, he's angry. And I'm wondering if that is going to, you know, make him lose focus in the ring. You know, now he could also use that anger as fuel and go out there and put the things on Triple G. But I could see where he's so caught up in, you know, the personal aspect of the fight that he strays away from the technical and the X and O's of the fight, you know, accomplishing the game plan, you know. So that's just another thing. But yeah, y'all know what it is. I am That Boy Box. This is Rough House Boxing TV. And I want to thank y'all again for stopping by the house. Like I said, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And share this to your social media platforms. Tell a friend, man. Tell a friend. And I'm going to tell y'all where I'm going to be at tonight. I'm going to be over on Marlowe's Corner. You know what I'm saying? Chopping it up over there. You know, getting that good play-by-play and that good blow-by-blow from Marlowe, Trey X, and Kurt Sugar. You know, it's going to be a good time, man. So, if y'all not doing anything else, if you're not at the fight party, if you're not in your living room watching the fight, or even if you are in the living room watching your fight, mute TV and pull up Marlowe's Corner. Let them boys do the play-by-play. I guarantee you'll never watch a fight the same way, man. But that's what it is, man. Shout out to the whole LDBC, Lions Den Boxing community. Man, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Anything else? Nah, nothing else. See, I'll go ahead and get on out the house now. Gee.